13th season of HBO's Inside the NFL.
It's the kickoff of a new season, one of changing faces and teams, major stories and issues. We'll give you our assessment and take a look at every game in this first week of the NFL.
And I'm Lisa Burkhart. Here in the state of Oregon, there's a new sports lottery game that has everyone excited. Everyone but the NFL. Stay tuned, we'll tell you why.
And I'm Steve Corson. As an offensive lineman, I fought battles in the trenches in the NFL. Now I fight a battle for my life. Stay tuned and see where I'm at now.
On Tuesday, Deion Sanders hit a home run for the Yankees, and on Sunday scored a touchdown for the Falcons. Stay tuned as Deion joins us to discuss his marvelous NFL debut. This is HBO's Inside the NFL, professional football's most informative hour.
Nick, it's great to be working with you once again. We are embarking on a very exciting season, a lot of new things, starting with this high-tech set. We're going to have new players, new coaches, and new stories to investigate.
Lenny, one of the new members on Inside the NFL is a guy that we enjoyed for the 8 years he played with the Cincinnati Bengals, the engaging Chris Collinsworth. Chris will do some of our cover stories this year, and he'll make his debut next week.
I wonder if we're going to see a new Nick Buoniconti this year, a man who will straddle the fence on those hot topics, or the same old guy that jumps in with both feet with a definite opinion.
Well, Lenny, this week I'll at least jump in with 1 foot and talk about trying to find a new commissioner in the NFL. Remember the last time we were tuned in, the old guard NFL owners were trying to ram through Jim Finks as a candidate of convenience. But the new owners would have no part of it because they said they needed someone with new broad-based management skills, someone who can take the NFL into the 21st century. And you know something? I agree with them.
Ah, thank goodness some things never change. When I want an opinion from you, all I got to do is ask. But I'm glad you brought up that topic of the commissioner, because later on in the show, we're going to go into more detail about the effects, the long-range effects it's going to have on the National Football League. But those are problems down the road. The immediate problem for all teams is to win.
Yeah, and that becomes more paramount if you're one of the new 5 head coaches in the NFL, especially George Seifert of the San Francisco 49ers. I have a question I want to pose to you. Who would you rather be if you could be a head coach in the NFL? Would you rather be Jimmy Johnson of Dallas or George Seifert of San Francisco?
Nick, if my best friend owned a team, I'd go wherever he was. But if I wanted a honeymoon or a grace period, I'd take Jimmy Johnson's job with the Cowboys. But if I wanted to feel the heat right now, it would be the 49er job.
Hey, if I was George Seifert, I think I would have been quaking in my boots before that Indianapolis game, because I can't remember a situation where an assistant coach became a head coach after a championship season and was successful.
You're right. The only person I can recall being in a similar situation was Phil Bankston when he took over the head coaching reins of the legendary Vince Lombardi after the Packers had won Super Bowl II. Phil didn't fare too well. In 3 years, he had a losing record. Well, I think George Seifert should be breathing a little easier today because, after all, he did pass his first test. Not all the new head coaches can make that statement, as we will see in our first segment.
In Indianapolis, George Seifert had big plans for a red-letter day in his debut as the 49ers head coach. But in his heart, he must have wondered whether recent history would repeat itself, and a defending Super Bowl champion would come out flat. Eric Dickerson isn't oblivious to history either. His 106 rushing yards enabled him to surpass 10,000 yards rushing faster than any runner in NFL history. But while memories were being made, Colts quarterback Chris Chandler was trying to win the day. Bill Brooks' reach was judged long enough by replay officials who scored their first reversal of the year as the Colts scored their first touchdown. One thing which shows no signs of reversing is football's most potent connection. Joe Montana beat a blitz and hooked up with Jerry Rice on this 58-yard piece of perfection. If Montana and Rice continue to make beautiful numbers together, Seifert may yet beat the long odds against repeating as Super Bowl champions. Eclectic, Electric but never static, new Chargers quarterback Jim McMahon hopes to juice up San Diego under offensive guru and new head coach Dan Henning. Yet it was rookie running back Marion Butts who provided their only spark.
McMahon gives it. Butts got the first down. Yes! To the 45, to the 40, to the 30. He is going to go all the way. Marion Butts goes 50 yards. Touchdown, San Diego, as he blew through a hole you could have driven a moving van through.
Unfortunately for Henning, the Chargers' resistance on defense proved minimal. Raiders quarterback Steve Berline stepped in for the injured Jay Schrader and fired 2 touchdowns.
Open goal, touchdown Raiders! Beat his man, hands down, Sandy Seal chasing futilely into the end zone.
The Raiders soared to 40 points while the Chargers were grounded for a mere 14 as Henning's debut runs the Chargers' streak of opening day losses to 3. The Chiefs' Marty Schottenheimer may have a new home in Kansas City, but last Sunday he faced an old nemesis, the Denver Broncos. Early on, though, it was the Chiefs themselves who were their own worst enemies, as 4 Chief turnovers were converted into 24 Bronco points. Despite 35 new players between the 2 teams, it was the same old story. The Broncos bested a Schottenheimer squad, this time 34-20. The scores may change, but the Broncos always have Schottenheimer's number. The happiest debut of the week, along with a homecoming of sorts, belonged to Schottenheimer's replacement in Cleveland, Bud Carson. Carson, the architect of the famed Pittsburgh defense of the mid-'70s, came back into town, and then his team went to town. One of 3 fumbles by Pittsburgh's rookie running back Tim Worley was recovered by Cleveland linebacker Clay Matthews, number 57, or one of 3 touchdowns scored by the Browns defense.
Lips at the 25, hit at the 29, down at the 29-yard line. Ball is stolen by the Browns. It is stolen by David Grayson. He goes in for a touchdown. Grayson scores from 25 yards out in grand larceny.
Mike Oliphant's 21-yard run capped the scoring in the worst loss in Steeler history and sealed the day's most successful coaching debut.
When you're known as a defensive genius like Bud Carson, the best news you can get is your defense is shutting out the Pittsburgh.
A pre-fight greeting from Jim Mora. Welcome to the NFL. Now shake hands and come out fighting. New Orleans held the punchless Cowboys to a franchise-low 20 yards rushing and made Troy Aikman's super-hyped debut a top-ranked bust. But Aikman couldn't be blamed for all of the Cowboys' despair, as Dallas's defense and special teams also turned in dismal efforts.
All the way back at his 45. That's Shepard straight upfield. Look out! 30, 25, 20. Just got sacked at the beat. At the goal line. Touchdown!
Enveloping Dallas like a Miami hurricane, the Saints registered a 28-0 unanimous decision, only the fourth shutout in Dallas history, and the new-look Cowboys limped tentatively to the future. Entering his final season, Steve Largent is probably reflecting on his glorious past. Largent caught his 98th career touchdown Sunday to put him one behind Don Hudson for the all-time record, the only receiving standard Largent has yet to attain. But it was the Eagles who were keeping up with their new standards. Randall Cunningham touchdown passes and opening day blowouts.
Cunningham back. He's floating it, looking for Quick. Leach has it. Touchdown! Quick won the battle.
Like last year's 41-14 Week 1 walkover of Tampa Bay, this skirmish was more of a massacre than a battle, as both the Eagle offense and their much maligned defense took turns leading the assault.
Fourth and 2, shotgun, double wing, Crawford fires, intercepted, Eric Everett, 20, 15, 10, Eric Everett, touchdown!
Although the season is just a week old, Buddy Ryan appears to have both Philly's offense and defense battle ready. And like other Super Bowl contenders, the Eagles hope to toot their battle horns all season long. Hear ye, hear ye. All who enter the Metrodome, beware, for here reside the Minnesota Vikings, some of the most feared men in all the land.
53. Are you afraid? Are you afraid today? Are you afraid today? Are you scared?
The Vikings entered the 1989 season as a strong candidate to reach the Super Bowl, but on opening day Sunday, Jerry Glanville's Oilers didn't seem the least bit intimidated or impressed.
You're not afraid today?
Not of those guys, I'm sure.
The one Viking who may have seemed less frightening than usual was wide receiver Anthony Carter. Still unhappy over a contract dispute, Carter had stated that he might not put forth his best effort Sunday. But on Minnesota's first possession, Carter erased any doubt.
At the Oiler 32, here comes the pressure again. Wilson to throw, and he goes deep far side. Anthony Carter has got it. They will signal a touchdown. The Wilson-Carter combination strikes again.
Yes, they own him now. No let down. No let down at all.
Carter had found it in himself to bury the hatchet Sunday and was part of an attack that buried the Oilers.
Second and goal, play action. Wade Wilson rolls, fires to the end zone. Steve Jordan, touchdown, Minnesota.
After falling behind 7-0, Minnesota scored on 4 of its first 5 possessions. And its defense never let Houston back in the game. The Vikings, owners of the NFL's #1 defense a year ago, allowed the Oilers to cross midfield only once following their opening drive, as number 75 Keith Millard recorded 3 of the team's 7 sacks against an overmatched Houston line.
Get it cleaned up. We've all had our one deals now. Now let's go play against these people. Let's go get our ass to fight with these folks. Right now, they got all this damn heart rate humming, and we're out there kind of wondering what the hell. We squeezing a lot over there on 75, on 80, leaving 99. Who's been the pullback? You got him, no problem? I don't want him to have him every time.
I didn't last time.
I know, okay. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying?
Things would steadily get worse for Houston, and by the time Chris Dolman stripped Warren Moon and recovered his fumble to set up a third-quarter score, Minnesota already had the game well in hand.
That was a great play, man. And knocked the ball out, recovered it. Great coverage. He didn't have nowhere to go to. That killed him.
Minnesota's 38-7 rout of the Oilers showed that the Vikings are indeed a team to be feared in 1989, looming monstrously over anyone who tries to come between them and Bears. Mike Tomczak has the best winning percentage of any NFL quarterback. but Boomer Esiason came ready to challenge his record. Last season's top-rated offense struck quickly, but the Bear defense had a twist waiting. Here, Richard Dent Luke confuses the Bengals' Paul Jatan, allowing Dan Hampton through for the sack. While Dent and Hampton were splitting one Bengal line, Neil Anderson was cleaving the other for a career-high 146 yards. Despite appearances, the Bears did not fall short as Tom Zach completed the comeback win.
He's back to throw. He throws it over the middle.
Touchdown! It was all smiles for Tony Mandarich as the Villagers welcomed their newly jolly Green Bay Giant. On the field, tight end Ed West came up with $1 million block for quarterback Don Mikowski, who rewarded his blocker with the ball for a Green Bay touchdown. Tampa fans have been waiting for big numbers from their quarterback, and on Sunday it was hats off to Vinny Testaverde. Testaverde picked right up from his promising preseason by displaying a soft touch against the Packers. Testaverde completed 22 of 27 passes and, most importantly, had no interceptions in the Tampa win. The quarterback who came into his own last year, the Rams' Jim Everett, knows he has a friend in Henry Ellard. So when Everett found the Rams behind the surprising Falcons, he knew right where to look.
On the line, and quickly Everett comes back on 3rd and 2. Got time. Going to throw a long, long bomb. Everybody jumping and fighting, and it is touchdown Rams. A Hail Mary in the Rams.
Ellard finished off the Rams' Hail Mary to help beat the Falcons, but Atlanta fans' prayers may have been answered too by the NFL's newest primetime attraction.
Hatcher kicks it a mile. I mean a mile. Deion drifts to the left, takes it on the 32, dropped it. Picked it up. One man missed him. Another man missed him. Now he's going wide off to the right. Deion to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, the 40, the 45, the 50, the 45, the 40. My God, Deion Sanders is going to score. My God.
Neon Deion Sanders' earth-shattering performance overshadowed a disappointing Falcon loss, as Atlanta fans were treated to the opening of what is sure to be a spectacular weekly event. What more beautiful way to begin Monday Night Football's 20th season than with a battle of divisional rivals that kept viewers tuned in till the wee hours of the morning. In the beginning, it looked like a rout as rookie Dave Meggett turned a routine curl into his first touchdown catch in a 14-point New York lead. While Phil Simms' offense transformed short passes into big gains, the Redskins just aired it out, and Mark Rippon became the NFL's only 300-yard passer in Week 1. Neil Olkowitz's blitz pressured Simms into making an uncharacteristic error, which Monty Coleman converted into a touchdown, giving Washington a fourth-quarter lead. It appeared the Redskins had rallied for a dramatic come-from-behind win, when all they had really done was set the stage for some giant heroics. With time running out, New York was 52 yards away from victory, a distance not too far for Raul Alegre. With one swift stroke after midnight, the Giants were victorious and displayed the character that suggests the dawn of a New York revival. The bright Sunshine Sunday provided a last-minute chance to perfect a football player's tan. A fabulous finish to summer vacation. Unfortunately for the Jets, they forgot to return to work for the first half of their season opener against the New England Patriots. The Patriots held the ball for over 23 of the game's first 30 minutes and built a 21-0 lead. New York was invisible, but in the second half, the Jets pulled off a different kind of vanishing act with holder Joe Prokop. Now you see him. Now you don't.
Attempt. There's a fake. It is. Prokop has the ball. Running along the side to the 10. Touchdown. Touchdown. What a call.
The Jets rallied to a 24-21 lead and held on for dear life.
4th and 1 at the 4. They're at the line of scrimmage. A wing T formation. The handoff goes to Stevens. He dives. He stopped. He stopped. He stopped.
But as is their way, they gave New England a second life by failing to run out the clock. That proved fatal.
Calling signals, takes the snap back, gives off to Dupont, drives to the goal line, touchdown for New England. The Patriots.
After learning the hard way that to lead after 30 minutes doesn't guarantee a win, head coach Raymond Berry was pleased to find that to trail after 59 minutes doesn't guarantee a loss. Detroit's Wayne Fontes was just hoping his run-and-shoot offense could last a full 60 minutes with a fourth-string quarterback at the reins. Last Sunday, it was shot down in a hurry. His team in a shambles, a new hero rode in to save the day.
I'll tell you what, there is a little electricity in the air right now. The fans waving our Lions Football Network Restore the Roar flag. The S-back is the Heisman Trophy winner. And he gets the call. And off Barry Sanders, left side. Sanders breaks the tackle. Touchdown, Lions! Listen to this crowd.
Barry Sanders' triumphant debut read like a hokey old Hollywood Western. Only the Phoenix Cardinals rewrote the ending and stole the Lions' sunset.
And the kick. It's up, and it is good. Cardinals take the lead, 16-13 with 13 seconds to go. My, oh my.
While wins may not come often in Detroit this year, the Dolphins' Mark Duper guaranteed a victory Sunday against the Bills. Early on, he kept true to his word. Miami's typically potent offense surprised no one. Their effective defense, on the other hand, took Buffalo's Jim Kelly by storm. Number 91, Jeff Cross, led a group that garnered 4 sacks as Miami built a 24-13 fourth quarter lead. But Kelly refused to wave the white flag. The Bills closed within 4, and Miami scrambled to kill the game's final minutes.
Marino waiting. Back to throw. You're right. There's the pass, and it is intercepted by Nate Odoms. How do you like that? His second interception.
Instead of simply throwing the ball away, Marino may have thrown the game away. Now he could only watch as the contest became a one-on-one race. The clock against Jim Kelly.
Just inside the 3-yard line. Last play coming up.
Just inside the 3, and here comes Kelly. What a finish. Kelly waiting. Last play of the game. Back to throw, and he's going to run, and he dives for the touchdown. He dove for the touchdown. Jim Kelly is being mobbed. The game is over. The Bills have won it in one of the most dramatic finishes in Buffalo Bills football history. Jim Kelly ran for the touchdown, and the Bills to a man are swarming and mobbing him at the goal line. What an unbelievable finish. The Bills have won it on the final play of the game.
Never seen anything like that, man.
Never.
Never seen anything like that.
Absolutely
I've never seen a finish like that.